Well, there was Nick Lassiter. Beth knew she'd caught Nick's eye since she'd come to the area with her father and sisters several years ago. Nick was definitely handsome. A dark, brooding sort. Rather like Lord Wodehouse. Beth couldn't suppress a giggle as she imagined Nick, dressed in fine English attire, bowing low before her. She gave a curtsy, as if the event were truly happening. "Oh, Lord Wodehouse, how very dashing you look today," she laughed once again. Beth knew she was acting like a silly child, but she was a hopeless romantic. Proof could be found in the stacks of books and dime novels that were hidden at the back of her closet and out in the shed. Any time she was in Bozeman, Beth would secretly buy 1 or 2 books and hide them away for quiet moments when she could dream. But what about Nick? He was handsome enough, and he made her laugh. Kind and polite, he always managed to stir something inside her. Of course, sometimes that was anger, but he could definitely bring about a response. And he is attending church now, Beth reminded herself. She'd always tried to keep her heart free of entanglements where Nick was involved, because he wasn't a God-fearing man. She had known him to take a drink at Rafe's saloon, and once, when he had burned his leg quite badly, Beth recalled he had said a curse word. But at the time, that seemed completely understandable. Surely God made provision for such things. But is he the man of my dreams? Is Nicholas Lassiter my Lord Wodehouse? How could she know? How was a person supposed to figure out whether or not someone was their true love? Did love always sweep you off your feet and make itself known? Or could it creep in and surprise you? Knowing that her sister Gwen was bound to come looking for her, Beth tucked the book away and headed downstairs. She paused for a moment at the sight of Gwen kissing her husband goodbye. This was their routine most every morning, as Hank headed off next door to open his store. They're so in love, Beth thought. A twinge of jealousy wrapped itself around her heart. How was it that Gwen had found love twice in her life, and Beth hadn't found it at all? Gwen had been married to Hank's younger brother, Harvey, but then he'd died, and now Gwen was married to Hank. Beth blamed her singleness on their father. He had dragged them from one place to another after the death of their mother many years ago. George Gallatin was too restless to stay in one place, and his daughters were victims of his wanderlust. Beth had hated him for that, yet she knew it wasn't really her father she hated so much as the disruptive way of living he imposed upon them. She frowned. Thoughts of their father always brought guilty feelings. Prior to his death, the previous May, Beth had overheard him talking about moving again. She'd been livid, but, because she was eavesdropping, had said nothing. But she had prayed. She had asked God to stop them from moving, no matter what it took. What she hadn't counted on was that it would take the death of her father. Beth also hadn't counted on the sense of relief she'd felt when, at his funeral, she'd realized he could no longer force them to move. She was ashamed, but she couldn't deny the truth of her feelings. "Oh, there you are," Gwen commented as she turned in the doorway. "I thought perhaps you were sick." "No, just lazy," Beth said with a smile. She came down the few remaining steps and glanced out the still-open door. "Looks like another nice day." "Yes, it's been so mild, I thought I might open everything up and air the place out again today." "I suppose it will snow soon enough, so we might as well take advantage of the nice weather," Beth admitted. "I'll do some more laundry. There's additional bedding that I can hang out to air as well." "That would be good. Mr. Murphy and his men are due back today, and I'm sure they'd appreciate everything crisp and clean." Gwen fussed with an errant strand of hair before smiling at Beth. "I do believe Mr. Murphy is rather sweet on you."